Howdy peeps, and welcome back to the channel. And yes, it's time for another one of those videos. It's the Fishroom update. Yay! I know they happen fairly regularly, but a fair amount goes on, so it's always good to keep track. And we're going to start off with the oldest tank, the Fluval Flex 15, the first one I ever had. And things are going well in here, mostly. See a tail wafting in a cage. Don't worry, he's not on eggs. But as I say, the super red bristlenoses are in here, and the Skiffia multipunctata, but they're hiding up. And as we can see right here, we have a breeder box full of plecklets. And yes, there is a bit of muck and mire around the tank inside. That's purely because of where I've got the outflows from the filter directed. The one that would normally be down to this corner is pretty much going straight into the fry tank, just to keep them oxygenated and happy. But all the plants are doing well. Got the snail population back under control again, because the older Malaysian trumpets were going a bit nuts in here. There were thousands of the blooming things. But yeah, as I say, generally all going well in there. Some weird and nasty reflections. And we turn around, we remember to pull that curtain across, and we're onto the Lovefish Panorama 40 litre, the 10 gallon, which is home to the Palliatus cories, which, oh, there's one of the girls up the back. The golden white cloud mountain minnows, and the single solitary remaining ember tetra, and he may have just caught sight down the back. Yes, we have a random shrimp escaped into here as well somehow. Oh, here we go, Palliatus cories. Everyone again in here doing well, plants doing well. The assassin snails have started to get the other snails, trumpets and the ram's horns, under control. Yes, the Anubias has gone a bit nuts. It's also sending up flower spikes as well now. But again, all going well in there. We're just trying to get some eggs out of the cories and some babies. And it's a wild type shrimp, but very cool patterning on it, that's for sure. Then we come down to the Fluval Flex 9 gallon, which the main inhabitants, if we see any of, we're going to be very lucky. Not the shrimp, they're a kind of accidental colony in here. They're not really meant to be in here, but you know what shrimp are like, they just turn up everywhere. And considering I only put a few black shrimp in here, we've got pretty much every colour under the rainbow now. We do have one remaining pygmy cory, who is rather fat and happy. The CPDs are hiding up somewhere, as are what are supposed to be the main focus of the tank and that you never see, which is a trio of clownplex. The L something or other, just your common or garden clown pleco. Nothing spectacular, but trio, so we're hoping we've got at least one male and one female in there, and hopefully we'll get some babies, because there is a cave down the back. But yes, lots and lots of shrimps. Again, plants are doing well in here now as well. There's plenty of muck built up in the substrate. And again, nothing to complain about. All going well. Ooh, try not to let my knees crack. Then we come scootering past the carnage, some random models. And down to the blue shrimpy tank. Again, oh, sharp, they're not blue. Well, most of them are. There are some paler wildy types and a couple of reds starting to show up, but we'll cull those out as it were and put in with the other shrimp. I'll try and keep this one a bit cleaner on line. This is the one that did have the water cellar, but all good, all gone now. We're just letting the colony build up. Ooh, just poking its head over the top of the rock. We have one of the yellow eyes as well. So they're going well. Plants doing okay, snails doing okay. And we come across to the Lovefish Panorama 64 litre, the freebie tank. Just sticking his head out down there is Doug, one of the lemon blue-eyed bristlenoses, Mr. Crib, the Subocellatus cribensis, and Missy Crib, the other Subocellatus, who has got her full breeding plumage on and has had for quite a while now. Very pretty in her full plumage. And somewhere up the top, usually up the top at the back, there we go, we have the Limia perugiae. Oh, she's back out again. There's Dougie boy just sticking his head out. There's another lemon blue eye in there as well. Now the plant's starting to go in here well. Obviously new tank syndrome, sand, which means very little in the way of sustenance for the plants. The big cryptid I put in that came out of the other flex. Yes, we've got some melt on some of the leaves, but it appears to have rooted itself in happily now and doing quite well. And that is the slightly less pregnant of the Limia, because little Boise up there, if you can see him, he's been doing a very good job, because both of the females are rather preggo. So we go from there over to what is supposed to be my cherry shrimp tank. It's also an algae farm covered in water spots, but it's a definite Skittles tank. We've got pretty much everything in here. Plenty of wilds, blacks, reds, stripes, blues, oranges. It chucks out all sorts of weirdness. But yeah, it's just a little 20 litre, and things are going quite well in here, it seems. A bit of a drop in the breeding numbers, but hey, we sold a lot of shrimp out of this tank recently, so I think it's about 100 so far this year. So again, that's all going well. A bit more carnage. And to the current star of the show, which is the Neolamprologus similis, Shelly dwellies, in the 15-gallon flex again. As you can see, there's an awful lot of them swimming around, both adult and fry. If we're really slow and sneaky and look down the back there, because that's where the really young fry all are. If I can hold the camera steady enough for it to pick them up. But yeah, those teeny tiny ones that you can barely see, they're at least a week old. But hey, they are tiny and they grow slowly, but they're very pretty and very characterful fish. Very easy to look after as well. You can't go wrong with Shelly dwellies. There's again just a 15-gallon tank, sand, shells, some rocks, job done. Oh, pardon me. More carnage, and then we come across to, yes, hello Bert, I know, the Fluval. Yes, again, this is the Roma 200 litre or 50 something gallon, and everything going well in here as well. Bert and Ernie, being the normal camera hams that they are, the Molly's doing Molly things, and yes, pooping on camera. Black neons are neoning. sole remaining dwarf neon rainbow, Melanitania praecox, I believe, is doing good. He's keeping the molly numbers under control. And somewhere down here, oh, here we go, there's some. The albino Aenus cories, or just standard bronze, but the albino version of. They're doing great. Absolutely no problems with those. There's the man, the myth, the leg end. There's Spotty Boy. And somewhere in here, oh, just poking a head out the top of the coconut hut, here's one of the Nanacara. Oh, here's another one. The Nanacara anomala. Very pretty fish. Basically, like, pretty much just a teeny tiny version of these guys. And yes, we have breedery box again. We'll pop the lid, scare the bejesus out of everyone. And again, another batch of bristlenoses and a few mollies that we've managed to save. I say save, just I try and get a few every time I spot them now, just so that we can keep the numbers going. Then we're over to the one that really upsets people's stocking levels, which is the fry rack. Now this tank, these 6 are 24 litre tanks, or 6 gallon. So we have again some of the mollies growing out. He says growing out, and they're having babies in here. And somewhere around 150 bristlenoses. They're just spread all over the tank. If I put any food in there, they'll all be straight on the food. And somehow we got a whole bunch of the pink and blue ram's horns turned up in here as well. So, result. Then we have a batch of around 100 or so super red bristlenoses. About a 50-50 split of standard and longfin, like that one there. And nobody's enjoying Cookie Monster at the moment. But yeah, lots and lots of bristly noses. This one, excuse the cloudiness, is going through a bit of a algae bloom at the moment. But again, another batch of 150 bristlenoses in here. And we're adding, as I'm cutting and trimming bits of plants off, I'm chucking them in these tanks just to try and help with keeping the water parameters under control somehow a little. So we've got some moss and Bacopa caroliniana, is it, or compact? No, it's a compactor. And they're saying here, just yes, that's what I class as an off-cut of Anubias. Down here is where the snails should be, all the pink and blue Ramsey horns, and lots of snailies. And yes, I leave the shells in if they die, because extra calcium is always good. I do have hard water, but it's not a bad thing to add a little extra. And again, a few offcuts of plants. Empty tank, I think. Well, aside from a few snails, but it's a Sharpie tank, so there's probably going to be a plec or something in there somewhere. And we come down to the last of the in use, as it were, fry tanks. And we're down to round about 30 super reds in here, and a honking great pile of trumpet snails and ram's horn snails. And yeah, we're going to have to pull the snails out of here again, I think. But yeah, these guys are basically sail size, which is why there's only 30 in here. But as you can see, gorgeous, gorgeous, lovely, lovely little bristly noses with obscene amounts of finnage on some of them. I wonder if I could get rid of the glare, you'd just see Then down here is the tank that they normally go into just before they get sold. Final grow out phase, as it were. There's only a couple left at the moment, and somehow a random molly that got in there. So there we go. That's what's going on at the moment. So these bristly noses up here, top left, will be going down to the bottom, which will clear the bristles out of that one, which will give me 2 spare tanks. Wow, what are you going to do with them, Sharpie? Well, you just seen the 2 batches of bristlenose fry. The super reds are about 2 weeks old, the commons are 3 weeks old, so we've got a week or 2 on the commons before they have to be moved, because Mr. Spotty decides he wants to do some more wafting. We'll say hello to Ernie while we're here. And oh, there we go. The nanny car is down the back. They are a bit skittish. We have the old blind Molly. She's only got one eye now, bless her. But she still does her thing. But anyway, that's what's going on in the fish room at the moment. We'll finish off with some super ready bristly noses, because they're the cutest things ever. I'll say thank you for watching. Don't forget to do the old like, comment, subscribe, share, become a member if you like, even leave a super thank if you like, if you really like the video. I hate doing all that stuff, I do apologise. But anyway, thanks for watching, stay safe, peace out, rock on, bye bye.